So before I dive into my studying this morning, I actually want to share with you guys, oh my goodness, just what the Lord revealed to my heart yesterday morning. Had some major conviction going on. I was talking about it to my husband yesterday evening, and there are times when I get like a nugget or something when I'm studying, and I know that it's just for me, like I just write it down, like I don't share, I just keep on going. But there are other times when I know I'm supposed to share. Like I cannot get any peace over it until I share. Like God just places it so heavy on me. Like I seriously can't stop thinking about it and like running it through my head. And so this is definitely one of those times where I was like, okay, I need to share this. Like, I feel like this is so significant, and very convicting. Like it got me, like it broke me yesterday. And so I'm still in Philippians 12-13, and I was moving on just fine. And yesterday morning, my intention was to actually finish this map. And God took me back to the word abound. And I didn't know why. Philippians 4:12-13 says, I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And we talked about how often that is taken out of context, and how so many people like to, set these worldly goals and ambitions and then claim that promise in order to achieve, their goal. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So when I was brought back to this word abound, though, there's something else that was brought to my attention. The word abound, it's the English word abound, let's say it that way, shows up multiple times in the same passage, but it's not always the same Greek word. When I started looking into the different Greek words and how they were used, I was kind of blown away by what was happening here. So when Paul says, I know how to be brought low and I know how to abound, that word abound means to make what one has, little enough though it may be, suffice for one's needs, enough to share. There is an emphasis on self-discipline. So it's not just having an abundance, okay? It is actually learning how to adjust your lifestyle in a way that even if you have so little, it's enough, and it's so much that you have an abundance to even share with somebody else. And Paul said, I have learned how to do that. It doesn't matter if I have no food or if I'm well fed. I have learned how to need so little that I can actually look at it as a surplus and I can share it. And as I read that and I let that sink in, I became so convicted. And the reason is because I think of my own life and I think of how blessed my family has been. And this is going to sound silly, but some of you will get this. And you know what crossed my mind? My Pinterest board crossed my mind. And I thought of my Pinterest board, and I thought of my pretty kitchens that I want and my dream house that I want. And, like we want bigger and we want better and all of these things. And this is what I wrote down, because this is really what I felt yesterday. This is how and I know I'm not alone in this, but I feel like this is how I often live or act. Okay. Out of my abundance, Lord, I want more. I want better. I want nicer. I want bigger. Okay. This is Paul's heart. Out of my lack, Lord, teach me to need less, so that the little I do have will be more than enough, that I may have an abundance. Do you see the difference there? And it just broke me. It broke me because Paul had nothing. When he wrote this, he was in prison. He had nothing. And he ends it saying, I abound. Like he figured it out. When Paul says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You know, listen, now that we know that, let's listen to this again. I know how to be brought low and how to abound. And in every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This is a supernatural way to live. This is not normal. This is not natural. Our natural desire is, out of my abundance, I want more. That's natural. That's our flesh. Paul says, I can live supernaturally because of Christ who strengthens me. And so the next time, and like my husband and I talked about this, because I was like, the next time I hear this verse, like I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, it's really truly going to make me think of self-sacrifice, like giving up my selfish desires. That's what it's talking about. I can do that because of Jesus Christ who strengthens me. He is the greatest example of this. And it's just so much more than even enduring hard circumstances. Yes, he helps us do this, but in this situation, Paul truly is talking about denying himself. And he can do that because of Christ who strengthens him to do that. So that is my nugget. Let me know, please let me know if that surprised you, or if that convicted you, or like, let me know what you think about that, because it's just not what we normally glean from this passage, but it's there and there's no denying it. So, okay.